Hello students, preparation and evaluation of aspirin tablet, the aim of today's practical. Let us discuss the history of aspirin. In 1853, chemist Charles Frederick treated sodium salicylate with acetyl chloride to produce acetyl salicylic acid for the first time. In 1897, scientists at the drug and dye firm Bayer identified a new way to synthesize it, and the word aspirin was Bayer's brand name rather than the generic name of the drug. Aspirin was widely used, but after the development of acetaminophen or paracetamol in 1956 and ibuprofen in 1962, the popularity of aspirin was declined. Then aspirin sales revived considerably in the last decades of the 20th century and remain strong in the 21st with widespread use of a preventive treatment for heart attack and strokes. Drug profile of aspirin. Synonym is acetyl salicylic acid and this is the molecular formula. Chemical name is 2-acetoxybenzoic acid. Description: colorless crystals or a white crystalline powder, odorless and almost odorless. Molecular weight 180.1574. Melting point is 134 degrees Celsius. Density is 1.4 grams per centimeter cube. Dose is 81 to 325 milligram. So when it is used for the prevention of the heart attack and strokes, it is used in the lower dose, that is from 81 milligram, and then when it is used as a painkiller, higher dose is required. Bioavailability is 80 to 100%, protein binding is 80 to 90%, and it is susceptible to moisture, hence store should be protected from moisture at temperature not exceeding 30 degrees Celsius. Therapeutic uses. Long-term use of acetyl salicylic acid may decrease the risk of various cancers including colorectal, esophageal, breast, lung, prostate, liver and skin cancer. It is also used as an antipyretic, anti-inflammatory, analgesic and antiplatelet agent. Absorption of aspirin. Rapid and complete absorption following oral administration. Site of absorption: rapidly absorbed in both the stomach and proximal small intestine by passive diffusion. Ideal absorption of salicylate in the stomach occurs in the pH range 2.15 to 4.10. Intestinal absorption of acetyl salicylic acid occurs at a much faster rate. So here the sites are shown where the aspirin absorption occurs. The pKa of aspirin is 3 and 5. It is 3.5. Salicylate distributes widely to all tissues and fluids in the body, including the central nervous system. The highest concentrations are found in the plasma, liver, renal cortex, heart, and lungs. This is the metabolism of aspirin. So acetyl salicylic acid, that is aspirin, it undergoes gastrointestinal hydrolysis and its metabolites are salicylic acid, salicylic acid, gentisic acid, phenolic glucuronide and acyl glucuronide. So elimination half-life is dose dependent and 2 hour to 3 hour for low doses, that is 100 milligram or less, and for large doses the elimination half-life is 15 hours to 30 hours. Excretion of salicylates occurs mainly through the kidney by the process of glomerular filtration and tubular excretion in the form of free salicylic acid, salicyl, uric acid, and additionally phenolic and acyl glucuronides. So this is the mechanism of action of acetyl salicylic acid. It is non-selective for COX-1 and COX-2 enzymes. The acetyl group of acetyl salicylic acid binds with a serine residue of the cyclooxygenase 1, that is COX-1 enzyme, and prevents the production of pain-causing prostaglandins. So here COX-2 selective inhibitors Then the process also stops the conversion of arachidonic acid to thromboxane A2, which is a potent inducer of platelet aggregation. Platelet aggregation can result in clots and harmful venous and arterial thromboembolism, leading to conditions such as pulmonary embolism and stroke. Let us now discuss with the requirements of the preparation and evaluation of aspirin tablets. So chemicals required for the preparation of aspirin tablets: aspirin, starch, polyvinyl pyrrolidone, ethanol, magnesium stearate, talc. Glasswares required are measuring cylinder, beaker, mortar and pestle, granulating sieves, etc. Equipment are tray dryer and tablet press. So formula for the preparation of aspirin tablets. Aspirin, for the one tablet required quantity is 300 milligram. We want to prepare 50 tablets, so required quantity of aspirin for 50 tablets, it is calculated 1.5 gram. The role of aspirin is active ingredient. Aspirin, it is susceptible to moisture, hence water could not be used as a granulating liquid. Here ethanol, that is organic solvent, is used as a granulating liquid, and aspirin granules are to be prepared using wet granulation method. Polyvinyl pyrrolidone is the binder which is used for the preparation of aspirin granules. So 10% weight by volume solution in ethanol, it should be added in sufficient quantity to produce the cohesive mass, which can be then passed through the screen. Starch, it is used as a disintegrant. For one tablet required quantity is 15 milligram. For 50 tablets 0.75 gram. Talc is the glidant and magnesium stearate is used as a lubricant in the quantity. For one tablet 10 milligram and for 50 tablets it is taken 0.5 gram. Wet granulation using organic solvent as a granulating liquid. So wet granulation method of tablet production involves the following steps. So the first is weighing and mixing of formulation ingredients excluding the lubricant, then preparing the damp or cohesive mass, wet screening or screening the dampened powder into pellets or granules, drying of moist granules and lubrication of granules. So this is the flow chart which represents the steps involved in wet granulation. Initially, the drug size reduction of the drug is carried out by milling, and then it is passed through the screen to get the uniform size. The required ingredients and the active ingredient is passed through the mesh 60 mesh screen to get the uniform particle size, and then they are blended together. So after blending granulating liquid, so here organic solvent plus PVP means PVP 10% weight by volume PVP solution is added into the ethanol, and it is mixed with the blend, and it forms a agglomerate or cohesive mass which is passed through the sieve with 10 mesh screen, and then pellets get formed. Then these are tray dyed, then passed through the sieve and lubricant is added, and finally compression. So procedure: weigh and pass aspirin and starch powder through 60 mesh sieve. Mix aspirin and starch uniformly in mortar and pestle. Prepare 10% polyvinyl pyrrolidone solution in ethanol and stir until it becomes clear. Add pyrovinyl pyrrolidone solution dropwise in mortar to get cohesive mass. Screen prepared cohesive mass through 10 mesh granulating sieve and collect it on granulating tray. Dry granules in tray dryer at 50 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes. Blend granules with remaining ingredients using polybag and store prepared granules in a well-closed and labeled container. Determine bulk density, tap density, angle of repose, Hausner's ratio, and Carr's index of prepared granules. And is passed to the sieve number 60. Aspirin
aspirin is susceptible to moisture. Hence, in wet granulation method, we follow granulating liquid, that is organic solvent is added as a granulating liquid instead of water as granulating liquid. So aspirin granules are to be prepared by wet granulation, but the granulating liquid selected should be organic solvent. So here aspirin and starch powder. So aspirin is the active ingredient and starch powder, it acts as a disintegrant. These both are mixed in the next step. Then polyvinyl pyrodilone solution is prepared in ethanol, 10% wet by volume, and this is added as a adhesive for preparation of aspirin granules. So the first step is aspirin is passed through the sieve number 60 to get uniform size particles. Now starch, required quantities of the starch as per the formula, it is also passed. These are then transferred to a mortar. Graduated well for uniform mixing of both ingredients, that is aspirin and starch. The role of starch is disintegrant. After administration of the tablet, the disintegrant absorbs the water from gastrointestinal fluid, then swells and helps to disintegrate the tablet in gastrointestinal fluid. Required quantity of polyvinyl pyrodilone is weighed and its solution in ethanol is prepared. So PVP is binder and it is added into the granulating liquid, that is organic solvent ethanol. And now this adhesive solution is required to be added in sufficient quantity to produce the damp and cohesive mass. The advantage of the organic solvent is that drying time required is very less as compared to the water which is used as a granulating liquid. Aspirin tablets can be compressed by direct compression using microcrystalline cellulose as a directly compressible vehicle. Now this mass is to be transferred from the sieve number 50 degrees Celsius temperature is set of tray dryer and the timer is to be set. So for 15 minutes at 50 degrees Celsius, start the blow. Dried. And ready for granulation. Before compression, now we are going to mix the magnesium stearate and talc with these granules. (500 milligram of magnesium stearate is mixed with granules. Adds lubricant. And talc is also added. This improves the flow properties of the granules for passage of the granules from the hopper to the die. On large scale, mixers are used for proper mixing of this. Means mixing and blending is done twice during the tablet formulation. First, active ingredient and the required excipient such as starch, which we mix earlier before granulation, and after granulation, that is after drying of the granules, magnesium stearate and starch is mixed, and now the granules are ready for compression. Gram of granules are weighed and their bulk volume is 16 ml. And now it is 12 ml.
Evaluation of granules for parameters: bulk density, tap density, Hausner's ratio, and angle of repose. A volume of powder is filled into a graduated glass cylinder and repeatedly tapped for a known duration, and the volume of granules after tapping is measured. So bulk density is equal to weight upon bulk volume of the granules, and weight upon tap volume of the granules represents tap density. So calculation of bulk density and tap density. Bulk volume was found to be 16. So the bulk density of the granules, aspirin granules, was found to be 0.625, whereas tap density was 10 divided by 12, that is the tap volume, and it is 0.833. Using the calculation of the tap density and bulk density, that is values of tap density and bulk density, Hausner's ratio is to be determined. Hausner's ratio was determined using the formula Hausner's ratio is equal to tap density upon poured or bulk density. So 0.833 was the calculated value of the tap density and 0.625 was the calculated value of bulk density. So Hausner's ratio obtained was 1.3328. So Hausner's ratio is between 1.25 and 1.5. So this value indicates that added glidant normally improves the flow. Angle of repose. The sample is poured onto the horizontal surface and the angle of the resulting pyramid is measured. The user normally selects the funnel orifice through which the powder flows slowly and reasonably constantly. So funnel is placed at the fixed length. So the heap of the granules was obtained and the diameter and the height of the heap was determined and the angle of repose was calculated using the formula tan inverse of ratio of h upon r, where h is the height of the heap and r is the radius of the heap. So let us watch the video to determine angle of repose.
Angle of repose, determination of paracetamol granules. Angle of repose is determined using height of this heap and the radius of this heap. Angle of repose theta is equal to tan inverse of ratio of h upon r. Yes, sir.
So by experiment, height of the heap was found to be 1.7 and radius was found to be 4.25. So the angle of repose is 21.80 degree, and this value of angle of repose indicates good flow of the granules. So these are the interpretation results of the angle of repose. Now the tablet should be compressed using the 8-station rotary tablet press. So this figure represents the working principle of 8-station rotary tablet press. Dies are there where the amount of the granules is to be filled. Then weight adjustment ramp is there, which is adjusting the weight of the granule filled in the die cavity. Lower punches are there and fill cam. So these lower punches movement helps to fill the die cavity and weight adjustment is done. Then the upper punches, role of the upper punches is to provide the pre-compression as well as compression pressure to compress the tablet. And here are the cam tracks which are guiding the movement of the upper punches as well as the lower punches. So lower punches are moving downward, whereas lower punches are as it is. Then when the compression is done, the lower punches again lifted by the upper lifting cam upwards, and same time the lower punches are also lifted by the ejection cam to eject the tablet, and in this way tablet is compressed.
Eight-station rotary tablet machine. Here it is the hopper, that is feeding mechanism. Then after the powder is filled into the hopper, it comes into the feed frame. Once it comes into the feed frame, it has different compartments, and these different compartments helps to put the powder and also to fill the dye cavity completely. So once the powder is filled into dye cavity and the machine rotates. So here the powder is filled into the dye cavity. Here weight adjustment knob is there, which is adjusting the weight of the powder into the dye. So a weight adjustment knob is there, in which the dye cavity is filled with the required weight of the granules. Then here is the pre-compression roller. So, and after that compression rollers are there. Then if you are able to see the movement of the upper punches, so this is the upper punch. So upper punches, they are moving downwards, and this is controlled by the cam track. So upper punch is moving downward and it is compressing the tablet. So once the tablet is compressed, so here the lower punch is driven upward by the cam track, and ejection cam is there, and this ejection cam helps to eject the tablet, and in this way the tablets are compressed. Here it is the discharge chute from where we can collect the tablets. So this is the mechanism and working of rotary tablet machine. Once again we will see how it works. The powder, it comes from the hopper into the feed frame compartment, and the dye cavity is filled. Weight adjustment knob is there, which fills the dye. Once the dye is filled, the upper punch is driven downward by the cam track, and it compresses the tablet. Once then it is move upward, same time the lower punches move upward and the tablet is ejected. And the turrets are here in this cam track. The turret is fixed and which holds the punches. So this is the actual practical part of the tablet equipment and tooling which we learn in the theory.
Evaluation of compressed aspirin tablets. The first test is weight variation test. So 20 tablets of aspirin should be selected randomly and should be weighed individually, and the weight should be noted down, and then determine the average weight of the tablet.
Determination of diameter of the tablet. Then thickness of the tablet. Using vernier caliper.
Observation of the weight variation test. So 20 tablets are weighed individually, and this is the weight of 20 tablets which was noted down. Weight variation tolerances for uncoated tablets. When the average weight of the tablet is 130 or less, then 10%, 130 to 324, then 7.5%, and when more than 324, then 5%. So this is the average weight determined of the aspirin tablet, and the maximum difference is less than 5%, hence tablet passes the weight variation test. Next is disintegration test. So water is used as a disintegration test medium. Disc should be added in each tube, and the apparatus should be operate for 15 minutes unless otherwise stated in the individual monograph. And the state of the tablet should be examined, and if the tablets fail to comply because of adherence to the disc, repeat the test on further 6 tablets omitting the disc. The tablets comply with the test if all 6 tablets have disintegrated. The test does not apply to chewable tablets, and after the performance of the disintegration test, disintegration time for all tablets was found to be less than 15 minutes.
Disintegration test apparatus assembly consisting of 6 cylinders. These are open at one end while at the another end closed with the 10 mesh screen. Into these 6 cylinders we are going to put the 6 tablets. So this is first inserted into the disintegration medium. Water is taken as a disintegration medium. Temperature is set to 37 degrees Celsius, and 6 tablets are inserted. Eight minutes. The second tablet is still remaining there. Second tablet also completely disintegrates at the end of 9 minutes. Now this 5th tablet is going to disappear. So 5th tablet is having disintegration time 9.5 minutes. This is the 3rd tablet which is having disintegration time 10 minutes. This is the 1st tablet which is going to disappear. So this having disintegration time 11 minutes, and now the only one tablet is remained to disintegrate. All tablets disintegrate.
Friability test. The friability test is closely related to tablet hardness and is designed to evaluate the ability of the tablet to withstand abrasion in packaging, handling, and shipping. It is measured by the use of Roche triabliter. Number of 20 tablets are weighed and placed in the apparatus where they are exposed to rolling and repeated shocks as they fall 6 inches in each turn within the apparatus. So apparatus has speed of 25 revolutions per minute. So apparatus should be operated for 4 minutes for 100 revolutions, and the tablets, 20 tablets should be pre-weighed and their initial weight should be noted down, and after friability test, again the weight of the tablets, 20 tablets should be noted down, and the difference between the weight is the loss of the tablet. So it should be calculated with the formula, that is initial weight minus final weight divided by initial weight multiplied by 100, and it should be not more than 1%, then tablet passes the friability test.
To determine friability of the tablets, weight of 20 tablets is taken. Tablets. Pre-weighed 20 tablets are, then timer is set to 4 minutes. So after 100 RPM, the tablets are removed. Again, weight is determined. Weight of the tablets before friability and weight of the tablet after friability, both are determined and noted down. Using the formula, that is initial weight minus final weight divided by initial weight multiplied by 100, the percent probability is calculated.
Result: aspirin tablets are prepared by wet granulation using ethanol as granulating liquid, followed by compression using aid station rotary tablet press. Prepared aspirin tablets were evaluated for following parameters: thickness and diameter using vernier caliper, weight variation, disintegration time, and friability. And prepared aspirin tablets pass all the tests. This is the question bank. Thank you.